Hello, everybody. So nice that we are together. Today, we're going to talk about mind. It's the key of life, it's the key of the human being existence, it's the key of good or bad function of every one of us. But before getting to this one, I would just like to repeat, and please just listen careful. This channel is, I don't dedicate this channel, I don't use it for any kind of business. I don't promote myself and I don't like to make any kind of money through this channel. Is not this purpose. The purpose is only to share with everybody who are interested or watching those videos, to share with everyone about my founding, about what I learned during the more than 45 years of my professional life. I consider that is my duty towards the world. Is my gift for everybody, since God accept for me to be part of this life. You see, I have to be thankful to God, thankful to whomever approved that I should be here together with all of you, especially all of you that watches me here. Now, I'm going to talk about mind today, basically, very basic. I'm going to talk about mind from very special angle, not how the brain functions with the neurotransmitter, with all the kind of hormones, with all the kind of connection, and so and so and so, because this you can find in internet, and I would just think it's more confusing. But I would like to share with you, I like to describe you what I understand, basic and simple, how the decision that we take through our life, or any living episode of us, which is based on one of the decision, how the brain, how the mind arrived to take this decision. See, because anything that we do is based on one decision taken by our mind. Let's start from the beginning. So, since we are born, no, any moment in our life, any living episode, is result by a one memory, by one essence. That's let's see. We just learn through what we live, through any episode of life. We just learn. We just get out of it an essence, which we deposit on a memory department. Okay. So any information, let's see, we just put the hand on the fire and see that it's burned the fire. So that's why the information we get from here, don't touch the fire because it's burning, right? We do anything, or good or bad, out of any action, we just draw an information. That information we deposit in memories department. Sometimes those information are good, sometimes or positive, sometimes are bad or negative, you see. So they are different quality. So those information are processed, are deposited, in the memory department. Now they are stored over there, whether they are good or they are bad. Sometimes those bad information, of course, give us a bad feeling. Now, those information, why those information are stored over there? Because when we want to decide anything, so we have to get informed, we have to get inspired from this information. Let's see, we think about going to the market. Now we just think about that we need to go to the market because we remember we had an information that we need to buy something, we need to get some food, we need to get some clothes because see, we need to go to the store. I remember that I need some shoes, I need some pants. So those are information which comes from our episode of living, or simple, it comes from the processing a different information by our mind, so this way we take the decision. So anything that we do, anything that we want to do, anything that we're going to do, it is result of one decision. Now that decision, very simple, that decision are taken, are result after the mind process an information. So the mind extract the information based on pick up the information that is necessary for that particular decision. So we draw that information from the memory department. The information is processed by the mind. Then when it's finished the process of information, it comes out as a result of the decision. Now, that decision is the one that is based on that decision, it comes the next living episode. You see, anything that we do is based on one decision. Now I go backwards. Now that decision, it's a result of from our mind, is the result of the processing and information by our mind, information which is withdrawn from the memory department. All those information in the memory department are just an essence of a previous living, previous episode of living. You see, now we just go to visit something, you visit town. Over there we get a lot of information. All those information, what we learn, no? All those information we deposit in the memory department. And whenever we need to talk about that town, to take a decision, we go back there, or we just associate that things to something else. So that information is withdrawn from there, is processed by our mind, and our mind is, it concludes after the process, concluding decision, that decision is the one on each is based the next living episode, with what we like to do, what we're going to do, how we're going to do, and so and so and so. Now, we're going to talk a lot about here because those decisions are very much affected by some different things, which at that time we're going to talk about specific elements which distorts or we affect not only the decision, but affect also the information. Let's see, we leave something, we have the living episode. And through that one, we have to take, have to withdraw an information which we deposit in our memory department. See? So see that memory department, where we deposit all those information, is actually the source of what we're going to do through our life. It's very important to know that. Anything that we're going to do tomorrow, after tomorrow, next year, in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years, in 100 years, if we live, hopefully, right? So is based on the processing of those information. So the information is the supply of what we're going to do in our life. So the life is a cycle. We do something, we get the information, those information are withdrawn from a previous living episode, deposited in the memory department, are processed by our mind. Our mind, after processing information, take a decision, that process resulted through a decision. That decision is just put in practice, in other words, put in a living episode. Now from that living episode, we withdraw another information. Those information are deposited again in a memory department. Those information are processed for the future when we need to take another decision. So you see that how this life is a continue transformation, from the living, get information, process information, take decision, the next living also in that living episode over there we withdraw from an information from there. That information is deposited in the memory department, so that so on and so on and so off, so on and so off. So that is the circle, how this life goes. So the whole our life is based on those mechanisms. Living, we extract an information from that living episode, that deposited in the memory department. That information is processed. Now after it's processed by our mind, it results in information. That information, I'm repeating this one because it's good for you to hear a couple of times to make sure you understand. It's so simple. It's extremely very simple. But nobody talk about this simple. Everybody like complicated things. Yeah, but you see there is neurotransmitter, but it's some hormone, hormones, but it's so complicated. So just I try to explain to you plain and simple things. Now, it's very important to understand that those information are used through our life. Based on that one, our life goes on. Based on quality of this information, that is, they determine the quality of our life. It's very important to know from here. It's there is a lot of says what you do today, it's what you're going to have tomorrow, because the information what you extract today, after they are processed, so is a result of what you're going to do tomorrow. Good living quality, good living episode yesterday or day before yesterday, extract good quality of information. Now those good quality of information are processed, and the processing, after the processing episode, is extract good and very good quality of decision. Based on that quality of decision will be a good quality of living episode. So our life is a good quality. It's very important. It's very important to know exactly that you have to live clean, you have to live honest, you have to live decent, because the quality of future life is what you live today. The way you do today, the same way you're going to do tomorrow, after tomorrow, or in 6 months, or in 2 months, whenever this information is processed. It's very, very important. People who lie today, lie, right? Extract a lying information. Of that information is processed. It came unreal decision, or doesn't come, is not, after it's processed, the quality is very poor, because its quality is extract from the quality of decision and extract for a dishonest information. You see how things go. It's incredible. If the world will know that, the quality of people's life will be much, much, much better. So psychological trauma, depression, mental problem, they will come from this process. So starting with the wrong information, being deposited wrong information in the memory department, then being processed wrong information or bad quality information, that give us bad quality of future life. So that chain of bad quality of decision are the one that decide our life. And if his life is not fulfilled, is not happy, it doesn't give us the best quality of feeling, doesn't give us what we need. So that means our life become miserable, become difficult, become problematic. We're going to talk a lot in the future about how can we heal the neurodepression syndrome. We'll talk about how that happened, how can we fix it, how can we eliminate, how can we balance our life, how can we improve the quality of our life, how the life on the world, on the planet become much better, because people does not know how to live. People just live fake life, my opinion. Even they are smart, but I will just later we're going to go deeper into this one. Why people do mistakes, why there are problems between peoples, how the relation between people are not the best quality, how the relation between community are suffering, are not the best quality. So everything, the key is here, the quality of information which is extract from a good or bad quality of episode of living. So those are processed, and then the decision I take, the decision which are going to be taken. So there is a not good quality if the information is not good quality. So the living episode is not a good quality. So life doesn't give us what we want, doesn't give us the best. Because it gives us exactly the same quality of the quality of previous living episode. You see, things go so simple. How things goes exactly, the proper gloves, they go in the proper hand, the proper size. So you cannot cheat here. You cannot lie here. You can lie as a person. You may be able to lie yourself, but not really. It just is a fake. you will not believe yourself. But you cannot live, you cannot lie how the mind was designed by the Creator to work. Because it's very clear, my opinion, that this formula of brain-mind is very much created. And it's nothing here you can cheat, nothing here you can lie. You can lie and you get back lie tomorrow. You can lie today, but tomorrow you'll get a lie. You can do bad things today, tomorrow you're going to have a bad quality of life. You can do good today, and tomorrow you have a wonderful quality of life. You can give today something to someone, you can get it back tomorrow, multiplied. You can do something if you do something good, if you give something good. So this is that it's very simple, and it's so nice, and it's so wonderful if we all of us think this way, feel this way. This is a brain anatomy, mind anatomy, sorry, not brain, mind anatomy. So the functional mind anatomy, or the physiology of mind anatomy from certain perspective. It's more the physiology, how the mind works. But for the simple point of view, for the mind mechanics point of view. So here it's going to, in a future episode, which is going to be a number of them, we're going to talk about different pattern of how the mind works. You see, here we're going to talk about the mind toxins. I call toxins people who are addicted to lie, or to be greedy, or to cheat, or to be vanity. So this toxin. I will talk about how these affect not only the quality of extracting the information, but the quality of processing the information, and so on and so on. So how many minutes we passed, Nikolai?
16.
So we're going to stop here, my dear friends, and but we're going to stop here for a short time, because we're going to have a wonderful episode in the future talking about mind. It's one of my favorite subjects. So I'll tell you down the road what is the favorite subject, what is so important. I will say is the key of everybody's mental health, everybody's physical health, and every community health, because the health of the community is based on health of the person that are part of that community. And much more than that, the health of the community is dictated by the health of the people who lead the well-being of the community. If the leaders think pathological, think wrong, so the community goes wrong way. So that is very important. This should be a science which should be learned by anybody, any single person who is interested in having a good life quality, any leader who is very interested of just leading the proper way the community, not to let the mental toxins to affect their thinking quality. Okay, my dear friends. So see you next time. Meanwhile, please listen to this episode maybe 2 or 3 times to really understand, because it's a different that you are accustomed to. It's a different way to think. It's a different way to understand. We're going to go over in a future episode, in a future filming, in a future video. I'm going to repeat this one to make sure you're going to get, or some people that miss this one, look for the next one, so we'll be able to get it. It's important. So my really purpose is to really give those knowledge to people, absolutely unconditional, and people should get them and to improve their life, their friends' life, their family life, their society, their community life, and so on, and the world life. How about that? Okay. So, okay, you take care, my friends, and see you next time. Bye.